Welcome to Clarion Chats, a new episode series on Clarion Call's podcast, where we talk about previous and upcoming events. My name is Harley, and I am a staff reporter, social media coordinator, intern, and the host of this podcast series. I'm joined today by my co-host, Josh, and our special guest, Jess. Would you guys like to take a second to introduce yourselves a little bit more?
Hi, I'm Josh Fedari, and I'm a writer for the Clarion.
I am Jess Grau, and I am the advisor for the Clarion, and I teach all the journalism classes at Sinclair.
Okay, so first things first, yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. Did you guys do anything for St. Patrick's Day at all?
Yes, I remained completely and totally abstinent and did absolutely.
Yep, same.
That's about all I did.
I didn't even wear green. I wore like all blue, and I had a staff meeting, and my coworkers pointed that out.
Coincidence, I did wear green.
I did not wear green, no.
You know,
I don't remember the last time I wore green on St. Patrick's Day. Like, I think that was more of something I did in elementary school.
Yeah, I don't even think about it.
I'm still also getting adjusted to daylight saving time that happened on Sunday.
Oh yes, I am too. I have been sleeping until like 8:30. It's just a nightmare because I typically get up at like 6:30 and drink my coffee and read my paper. And
about daylight saving is like, I was reading how some states want to get rid of it, and I feel like this has been a conversation for a long time, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. And I think they have a bill for it, or they've introduced a bill for it. I mean, I don't understand how there's some states that do it and then some states that don't.
The problem is, from what I understand, is because we stretch across so many different time zones. There are some states who are opposed to it, and there are some that are like, no, this is terrible for us. And that's basically the debate about it, because if I remember correctly, it's not strictly a party line thing. It's a number of the people who are sponsoring the bill are from here on the East Coast and the Midwest, and then I think some of the states that are opposed to it are like farther west. But I haven't done a deep dive, unfortunately.
Well, are you guys opposed to daylight saving, or are you like all for it?
I would have to see what the advantages and disadvantages are, because I haven't really looked into it, but I know that it's because of farming is why we started it. But I do not like waking up and it being dark. It kind of makes me.
It's supposed to be like health benefits to like cutting out daylight savings times, and apparently some like economic reasons to cut it out. Just having everyone on a standard time, as they call it, it will help business move faster. But honestly, I have not let daylight savings time dictate my sleeping schedule since I left high school. In high school, I had to wake up at 6:30, and I despised it with all of my being, because I am a true and born night owl.
I can't imagine what it's going to be like when we actually have to go back to school, and I have to set my alarm, and I have to get up and exercise and shower and get ready and be to school at a certain time. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know if I'm ever going to wear makeup again.
Well, that's the thing. Like, COVID definitely shifted things. That like, it's so hard to think about going back to school. Like, I haven't been in a classroom in so long.
It's very much realizing I'm now going to be around people more often and have to take care of my appearance on a regular basis.
You're going to have to wear clothes.
Go places.
But speaking of COVID, I read this article the other day, and it was literally titled NCAA Players Being Tracked. And when you read more about it, they're talking about how they're giving any player for March Madness a little like contact tracer for COVID. That way they know who has COVID and who they've been around, so they can like trace it back.
Yeah.
Apparently the players have to wear it every single time like they're out, and the only time that they're allowed to take it off is in their hotel room.
Yeah, because all the other sports, like football season, everybody was just partying it up, like all the college teams, and everybody was getting COVID. That's why, some people only played like 5 games.
Yeah. But also speaking of COVID, Moderna and Pfizer and Johnson & Johnson all have vaccines out, as we know, but a lot of them are wanting to go back and kind of like adapt their vaccine to the new strains that are out. I know Moderna wants to make theirs able to be stored in a refrigerator because theirs has to be stored in below temperatures right now. And both Pfizer and Moderna want to go back and make theirs a one shot, which means anyone that's gotten these shots would have to get a booster if they are successful.
I actually have some news. I just made my vaccine appointment for next Thursday.
Yay.
Yay.
So are you guys all opposed, or are you all for the vaccines then?
Four.
Oh yeah, I'm for. I know people are kind of anxious about this vaccine and how quick it came out, but the technology has been there for a really long time. The only thing that really went faster was the approval process, because that's the stuff that trips everything up is, all the approvals through the government. So,
well, weren't some of the vaccines like Pfizer and Moderna, weren't they like vaccines that were already made like for the SARS vaccine and just adapted?
Yeah, basically, like from what I gathered, the technology was already there. We just approved it 10 times quicker than we normally do. And we didn't do as much testing, but it's similar to other vaccinations.
So is there a vaccine that you kind of hope you get more than the other?
I was going to research that. I mean, I just in the last 45 minutes got my appointment scheduled. So I was going to look that up and see. But I've had friends get Pfizer and Moderna and they haven't had any issues with it. So I don't think it really matters all that much.
I know there are a number of people that are aiming for, isn't Moderna the one shot?
Johnson & Johnson is
no, Johnson & Johnson.
No, yeah, sorry. No,
yeah, we don't have that one yet. I don't think.
Yeah. There's some people are saying, well, I'm going to wait for the Johnson & Johnson because it's only one shot. And it's like, no.
No, health experts say get whatever you can get. It's a vaccine. Just get it.
Just get vaccinated. Get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. So on March 8th, a trial started for the police officer that kneeled and killed George Floyd, and a settlement came, and the family settled for $27 million. Do you think that justice is served?
This is tricky. I mean, it reminds me, of the OJ case. I don't know if you all remember.
Yes.
Are you really innocent? If you have to pay out all this money, it's an ethical question.
I will settle this question. No.
Was he even charged? He wasn't even charged with.
No, but the family did settle on it, $27 million.
Where's that money coming from? The police department?
More than likely the city. There's no way the police department would willingly pay for this.
So the taxpayers. Well, I mean, the taxpayers pay for the police, so.
And we also pay for the government. So technically we pay.
Yes, we paid. All right, I'm on Josh's side now.
Yeah.
Could be worse. More often than not, when police cause damages, they aren't held liable for it.
Moving on. So a couple nights ago, there was 8 people killed in Atlanta. 6 of them were Asian American women. Most people believe that the person who killed these 8 people were actually targeting the 6 Asian American people and just killed 2 random people to make it look like it wasn't a hate crime when it kind of was. What are our thoughts on hate crimes against Asian Americans in America right now?
But I mean, the police and the guy who shot everybody is trying to say that it was because of some sex addiction.
Yeah.
The police officer made the comment that, he had a bad day.
Yeah.
This is what he did. What? That's a really bad day.
We all have bad days, and I don't think any of us think that's the first thing we're going to do.
Yeah, I know.
Well, lots of people have one bad day. It doesn't mean we commit it. We go on a shooting rampage.
Yeah.
Rampage.
Genocide.
Specifically target Asian people. It's
Yeah.
it's
It
something.
seems too much of a coincidence.
It's something I haven't thought about as much, but it did start to occur to me as soon as COVID really start. Well, as soon as COVID, people started to really pay attention to COVID, that there's going to be so much Asian racism.
Well, I definitely think that this helps spark the conversation, like how we had last year with like George Floyd and bringing back Black Lives Matter. We have also the conversation that happened last year of anti-racism, and I think that this event that happened and told people like anti-racism doesn't just mean Black people; it means Asian people, it means Hispanic, Latino, Latina, like it means any person. And I think that was really powerful in my opinion. But this is the last sad story, and then we're gonna get into a happy one.
The last sad story for today.
I just think like
Next
there's
week.
so much important that happened that I don't want to just like dismiss anything. So Women's History Month obviously is this month, and March 3rd, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Sarah Everard, she was 33. She went missing. She was walking home in South London. And 4 days ago, she was found dead. This has kind of raised the thing of, yes, we've had so much progression in the women's movement and feminist movement over the years, but yet one constant threat still is out there, which is like sexual assault, being attacked, being, abducted, etc. What are our thoughts on this sad reality that women have to deal with still?
And as a comedian, I make jokes about this all the time. A lot about how women are paid so much less, and I mean it's just an ongoing thing, and a lot of people think that because women are working more and they're doing a lot more, that we're not struggling or being people aren't prejudiced against us.
Quite honestly, it's not something I've had to deal with. I am a tall Black male. People are more likely to assume I'm going to mug them than to try and mug me. But I do have an older sister, Esther. She lives in DC, and I worry about her because she's very much sort of an out and about person who just kind of walks everywhere.
I can imagine doing that. Like when I go anywhere, I bring my pepper spray with me. I'm like making sure I'm like looking all directions, like not being suspicious, obviously, like paranoid, but like just like making sure I'm aware of my surroundings. I could not imagine. Your sister's very bold. Well, the thing is, like, this event definitely sparked a conversation, like how for like a long time, I think a lot of women would be like, oh, we'll say like men, we're like, oh, men. And a lot of guys were like, well, not me, not me. It's like, we know it's not all men. Like, it's implied that it's not all men. But sadly, this is still happening to all women.
Yeah, whenever I do a show, typically if there's like 10 people on the show, I'm like the only girl. So I always make the joke about being the token female comedian on the bill. So, but hey, it gives me a different perspective than everybody else.
Yeah, that's true. So moving on, just really quickly, what are your guys' thoughts with the royals versus Meghan and Harry? Do you have any thoughts on what's
I do not care. I'm so tired of hearing about it.
I've watched entirely too much of The Crown not to believe.
Oh, I've watched all The Crown. I love The Crown, but
realize nope, this is par for course.
Have you not seen the royal family? You're think it's weird that they're kind of racist? Like, what if they ever had anybody kind of Black in the royal family?
I believe it was a while ago. I don't remember who it was exactly, but it was just a while back.
I don't know. I just remember I watched Oprah's special and I just was like, oh, this is interesting. And then it was like, what? What did you say? What? And then the royal family was like, we're not a racist family. And now the Queen's like inducting an investigation to find who the royal
Who did this?
Yeah, who did it? Who's like, and she said like who she's gonna interview, and they're all gonna have like a one-on-one sit down with her so she can figure out like what's true, what's false.
Is she like the longest reigning monarch ever?
She is currently in, I believe, 4th place.
Okay.
She's
been in power since the 40s.
She is the longest reigning queen in world history. She is the longest reigning queen in British history, monarch in British history. But there is still, basically right now, she'd have to survive like 3 more years and she'd win the crown.
I don't know. In entertainment news, though, we'll just move on. The Grammys were on this Sunday the 14th. Well, this past Sunday the 14th. And then the Kids' Choice Awards are on the 13th.
Okay, it's time for my I don't care.
Yeah. Like, the thing is, I don't remember the last time I voted for a Kids' Choice Award, but also like the Kid, Teen, and People Choice Awards, they don't actually let you vote. I don't know if people know about this, but like they literally have like a thing at the bottom in tiny print that says like your vote doesn't determine the winner.
That's funny.
And even at the end of the show, when they're doing the credits, they have like this big paragraph that goes on the screen that you have to pause real quick, and it tells you that your vote still does not determine the winner.
Wow. I haven't watched an award show, I think. I mean, I watched the Oscars. Like my friend has an Oscar party every year. Obviously not this past or this year. But I haven't watched the Grammy since the 90s when like the music was good. I actually had to ask a question to my students on a current events quiz yesterday. And apparently I didn't even know the difference between album of the year and record of the year. They sound the exact same to me.
Yeah.
But they're not.
Well, I know like one is for like the writers and one's for the artist.
Yeah, so the record is just for one song and the producers and the engineers. And then the album is like stipulations on number of songs and number of minutes. So
and then there's Song of the Year, which is
I was educated yesterday by my students. So
I don't know, I kind of watched the Grammys. I was in and out. I was like, the only thing I remember from it was like, I know they said Beyonce broke history by being like the most awarded person.
mm-hmm.
And that was all I can remember.
And then like, wasn't her daughter like in it too? So her daughter technically won a Grammy.
Oh yeah, her daughter was in her music video and became the youngest person to receive a Grammy.
No, she's the second youngest person. The youngest person was, God, it was a while back. It was like 1945. It's very historic. I forget her name though.
You seem to know a lot of facts, Josh. You are great.
I don't know. That just means that Blue Ivy now has a Grammy. I thought she was the youngest. That's my bad. I thought they were making a big spectacle that she was the youngest, but.
Well.
Oh, no. I am mistaken.
The
youngest Grammy was in 2001. It was a girl named Leah Pessel who was like 8, and she was on the soundtrack of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Oh my gosh. Okay, well that's random.
But speaking of music, is there any like music that you're excited about? Like, do you guys have any artists that are releasing albums this year?
Oh no, I'm old. So, but there is the one artist that I saw on Saturday Night Live a couple weeks ago. She's a girl, the one who smashed her guitar. Who was that?
I have no idea.
She smashed her guitar, and I actually liked her music. So, but my husband's a musician, so he constantly keeps me updated. He'll make me playlists. He'll say, "Here's some new music that you can listen to since you're old." So I get playlists every couple of weeks of new music because he keeps up on it.
No, well, the thing is, since COVID, a lot of musicians just held back all their work because they're waiting until they could like tour and promote for the Grammys. So Bruno Mars is back, which I'm always happy about.
I like Bruno Mars. Yeah. There's just going to be like an explosion of movies and music once everybody's vaccinated, and it's going to be information overload, and we're not going to know how to handle it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know a lot of people are excited that Harry Styles got his first Grammy. Megan Thee Stallion got some of her first Grammys. I do agree with Jess, though. It's going to be like information overload when society goes back to normal. It's going to be like music and movies and here's this and here's that.
And then we're all going to be scared and we're going to run back to our house and stay inside. Not leaving.
This was a lot filthier than I remember it being. Back indoors.
Okay, well, this has been this episode of Clarion Chats. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, make sure to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. And we'll see you next week. So bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.